but that's okay. Cause once you hear my popping, you're gonna walk this way. Now I sound different. Nothing quite.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a hashtag Fade to Black exclusive. First of all, I'm your host, Donna Alamonte Morris. I welcome you. This is tell you the truth, this is an honor to be doing this interview on I say a couple of days notice. And y'all all know who she is. She got a lot of big plans. Y'all know who she is. I mean, she's a motivator, she's an inspirator, she's a scholar, she is soon to be an actor, and she wants to tell y'all everything else that's going on in her world. Y'all may all know her as Teach, but reintroducing and welcoming back once again to hashtag Fade to Black on this exclusive, Anita Diop. Teach. I wish I had a round applause machine.
It's been such a long time. I thank
Yeah.
you for having me on your show once again. I see that you all have been doing great things since I have not been available.
Teach, we miss you. Once again, we're happy that you're back. And if Mayo and Beast was here, they would be overjoyed having you back and just saying we love you. But you got a lot of things going on. So the first one is, I apologize.
I
The
love
first
you
one
all
is
too.
African Heritage Roots Foundation. What is going on with that?
Okay. The African Roots and Heritage Foundation is an organization that I created back in 2006. It is a nonprofit, federally organized organization recognized by the federal government, recognized by the state of Kentucky, as well as recognized by the state of Ohio, as well as Michigan. And our aim is to share culture, to uh, give everyone an opportunity to learn from each other. I find that in some cultures, they have um, a strong vibe or a strong characteristic. In other cultures, you might find a weaker characteristic. And I'm thinking for the healing of African and African descendants, if we begin to share culture, then we can begin to strengthen ourselves and position ourselves to be the best people that we can be.
Oh, that's great, Teach. So what are the goals that you achieved with this group already?
Some of the goals that we have achieved, wow, we have done so many things. We began, like I said, in 2006 in the city of Detroit, Michigan. And at the beginning, we simply organized all type of artists, from the spoken word to novelists to film directors, videographers. And we just came together to encourage one another to produce our art, because I realized as an artist that many individuals, they never share their art, they never publish, or they never do a performance. So I wanted to take the performer or the artist from that notepad, um, seclusion in their room, to the front stage.
Oh,
And
okay.
so we began to do what was called a circle of critique. And in the circle of critique, we would do a recital and or a demonstration of our work. And within the group, we would give pointers on whether we thought it was good, bad, how it can change to build the confidence of the artist. And it worked like wonders, so much to the point that the very same year, one of the videographers actually captured in video one of the poets.
Oh, okay.
And it was a simple coin that was like 6 minutes long. And we took that film and entered it into the Detroit Film Festival. And we actually won second place. And I remember it was in the wintertime and it was kind of cold in the building. I'm like, oh, let me go home. And when I got home, my phone was ringing, and they said, "Who is this producer?" Uh,
Oh,
Anita
that's that.
Williams at the time,
You sure that ain't the producer right there?
and I said, "That's me." And I thought about a producer. I didn't think of myself as a producer. I was just, in the throes of making it happen. And they said, "Well, we want to tell you that your film has won second place in our film festival." I'm like, "What?" So
That's
that gave encouragement to the entire group. So we were able to use the synergy from each area to make things happen. And from there, I moved to Columbus, Ohio, and I was introduced to the African community, which is very unique for me coming from where I lived. In my area of the country, it was black people and it was white people.
yeah, the usual. Yeah, the usual.
Okay, and then we had some Mexicans over there, but most in your working area, it was black and white.
Right.
And so when I went to Columbus, there was a Nigerian here, a Ghanaian here, Somalia there, someone from Togo, Rwanda, um, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Angola. And I said, "What is this? What am I looking at? I've never seen so many different Africans." And so me and a lady got together, Edith Cooper, and we formed what was called the African Roots and Heritage Festival. And that's
Mm,
when we decided that we would come together and share the culture. Because even though all of these groups were in Columbus, they were still separated. So we wanted to bring the people together. We believed that we had the power to create a microcosm of Africa right there in Columbus, Ohio, because there were 35 different countries with populations over 10,000 people.
oh
All
wow.
right. So that's what came into my mind to organize. So in organizing, we wanted to fulfill the needs of the various communities, be it in America or actually in Africa in the various countries. And this is how we develop the scholarship and technology giving programs. And we have what is called our Global Day of Community Service, where we'll go to a rural country. We'll go to a country in the area that they may be underserved. Like last September, we went to Cameroon and we serviced the Boxo Secondary School with tablets and Wi-Fi internet. And upcoming on April the 15th, 2022, we're going back to Cameroon and we have a partnership with the University of Yaoundé 1 in Yaoundé, Cameroon. The reason why we entered into this partnership with this university is because Africa is in its renaissance. The
Which yeah.
renaissance
I'm
is
sorry. Yeah, sorry, Tease. I didn't mean to cut you off, but that was my next question. Actually, the trip to Cameroon. And speaking of when you went there the last time in September, which we missed you the very first time, you was living your best life out there. So you're going back, and what 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 prompted you to take this trip over to Cameroon once again? I knew you was getting into it,
okay.
but yeah,
Well,
yeah. But go ahead.
one last summer, as you may recall, I was asked to be a representative of the sixth region to ALCALAN, which is the African Academy of Languages. And then following this past December 2021, I became a member of the African Languages Week Coordinating Committee, which we were charged with the duty to raise awareness of African languages. And as I was saying, we're in the African Renaissance, which is the rebirthing of African culture and identity. And one of the first levers of identity is language. So I decided to reach out to the University of Yaoundé One and ask them to ask their students to write essays on the importance of preserving African languages at home as well as abroad. And they agreed with the African Roots and Heritage Foundation to ask this of the students. And so we tapped into the knowledge of the youth because as an older adult, we're preparing for our transition. And we must be able to pass on the baton of what's in our minds to the youth. And how better can we do that than to engage the youth with our thought process, getting their thought process. And what we're going to do is collect all of the essays and um, edit them and publish them in an anthology, creating history. We want to collectively present to the world the mind thought of the youth of 2022 concerning African language and the importance of speaking their native tongue. As you may have heard me say many times on this program, when the native African speaks their native tongue, we in the diaspora get to hear the voices of our ancestors. And it's very important because we've been torn away from our roots. And it's time during this African Renaissance for us to reconnect with our roots, not just to know where we came from, but to be able to speak and listen and hear our native tongues, bringing us back into our full selves, our full identity, the identity that was once lost and stolen. But now, in this day and age, we have an opportunity to reclaim that identity.
And which I want to add on to it now. I'm kind of going off the beaten path of the question I want to ask, but for anybody who have not went to Cameroon, teach, describe how beautiful Cameroon is and how the people and the culture is over there when you went.
Wow. What can I say? I posted this note the other day. I said, Cameroon has my kind of swag. And what that means is this: when I was last there, I was scheduled to be at the University of Boya, and I had a lot of flight delays. I think I may have talked about that. And
Hmm.
the actual program was over like 5 o'clock that evening. But because of all of the delays coming in from another country, I did not get there till 10:30 that night. And
Wow.
I was beat tired just with the travel and the delays and everything. So you kind of think of other people. I said, oh, they've probably gone home. They're probably tired. They've been out all day and everything. When I got there, when my car drove up in the driveway, a gentleman approached the car. Is this Professor Anita Diop? I said, yes. He said, she's here. Turned on the music, and by the time I got upstairs, everybody was dancing and having a good time. and they gave me the most awesome welcome. The, it was wonderful, and I appreciated the fact that they stayed back because they knew I had been communicating with them with the travel delays, but they stayed back. Everybody stayed and waited to welcome me, and that was greatly, greatly appreciated. It made me feel at home. The people loved me. They waited for me, and it's just awesome. They just have that energy. And now that I'm going back, everybody's gonna meet me at the airport.
Oh wow.
So I feel like, am I a star?
And we're gonna talk about the star in a little bit. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, when she came back on the show and she talked about a trip to Cameroon, and even before the show, me and Teach, we had calls, and how she just couldn't help smiling the whole entire time. So yeah, she was telling us how she was living her best life over there. She was proving it because we were sharing all the videos and all the pics on the show as a spirit of her still being with us. But I'm not going too far on the Cameroon. I want a free travel ticket for doing this for y'all. Cheap pop. Um, let's talk about the scholarships, because when you was talking about the heritage group and actually going to Cameroon, you was talking about scholarships. Can you stretch on what you mean about scholarships?
Yes. Um, when I came through uh, undergraduate and graduate school, I benefited from many scholarships. And most times you just had to write a 1 or 2 page essay on a topic that the scholarship grantor chooses. And if you're found worthy, you get money. And most of the scholarships that I received, well, some of them, they were free scholarships, meaning that the scholarship was given to the student, not necessarily given to the university. Some scholarships go through the university, which means that if the student had a balance or owed the college any money, that those monies would be absorbed, and the student wouldn't really physically have the gratification of that scholarship. So I decided that when I designed the Anita Diop Scholarship of Excellence, that it would be a free scholarship given to the student once they wrote an essay and presented their transcripts from the current school showing that they're currently enrolled, that they would have a freestanding scholarship such that they are given the money directly, and they can use the money for any purpose, be it a ticket home, be it to buy them a jalopy, to get around, do their business, if they need to buy books, or if they need to buy food,
Oh,
or if they
okay.
need to buy clothing, they're free to use that money for whatever they need. And I think sometimes when you give out these scholarships, those personal things sometimes aren't looked at. And these students, especially in in areas that's not as prosperous as others, the students needs. They may need to buy some ink pens. They might need to buy a computer so they can do their work. So these things I take into consideration, and that's why I offered a free scholarship. This year, we're giving out 5 scholarships to the best essay writers on the theme of preserving the importance of preserving the African languages at home and abroad with the Department of Literature and Black Civilizations at Yaoundé 1, Cameroon.
Okay, so that's great. First of all, I love that one word, and that's free. So that's great that these that they are getting these scholarships. Here in the States, you got like a lot of athletic scholarships, but you don't hear too much about scholarships on the educational side. Scholarships for being a scientist, or scholarship for being a chemist, or I mean the list goes on and on. So that is great that you are stick your neck out there for doing this scholarship for the people of Africa. definitely in the Cameroon. So I think my next question with the scholarship is, what is your long term goal with this scholarship? Is this a scholarship program that you want to not only just spread in the country of Cameroon, but I mean, like places like Ghana, Nigeria, maybe even South America? Is that a
Well,
long term goal?
Well, we have offered scholarships worldwide. The first scholarships that we did offer were indeed and in fact in Columbus, Ohio, and also in Detroit, Michigan. So Cameroon was mm, it was actually our second Global Day of Community Service on an international level. But we also have offered scholarships or funding to orphanages in Tanzania. If you remember, I was in Tanzania and we were at the Children's House of Havila. And you remember the little orphan girl, 3 months
Hmm.
old. My heart went out to her. So, therefore, we offered funding to take care of these children in Tanzania. So, we are doing our due diligence. We have a program um, coming up in Uganda. I have been in contact with the people there, as well as in the Gambia. Um, the Gambia was not on my radar until recently. But every time we have an opportunity to go into a different country, we identify uh, an established body, be it a college or university, a school or orphanage. We identify somebody that has a particular need, and we try to provide that need.
Mm. So, well, it's not even a so up. I'm just happy to hear that the scholarship is worldwide. Now, if I want to apply for the scholarship, where would I go? What would I do?
You would go to our website, which is www.arhf.net. And right at the top, it'll say scholarship. Click on the scholarship and apply. But most of our scholarships are based on the location or the school. And you have to be a member of that particular body in order to participate in the scholarship. Because we do require something in return. And for us, it is the ongoing materials to write this anthology.
All right. So
So
what's
uh,
get
a
yes,
lot of
yeah.
some
I'm
people
sorry.
have
Sorry.
written say, "Oh, I'm a struggling student. I want a scholarship. Can you give me money?" And I said, "Well, are you enrolled in this particular school?" No. Well, I'm sorry, you don't qualify. So we're not big enough at this point to offer scholarships to anyone, but we can offer scholarships in specific partnerships because we are a nonprofit organization. That means that we heavily rely on donations to be able to give out these scholarships. We are a member based organization, so your membership dues um, um, the membership dues go towards the activities that we're able to perform. So also, if you go to our website, you can become a member. And if you like what I do, become a member and know that your membership dues are helping me help you do the things that you can't do, but I can do and get it done.
Good way of putting that to sum that up.
And it's tax deductible. So any donation that you give, you can indeed write it off on your income taxes.
Hey, we are in income tax seasons here in the States, so I'm happy that I already did my taxes, so I'm happy with that. So now since we are coming to the final stages of the show, let's talk about the movie role. Teach, teach. Explain to me and to the world, how did this happen? How did you
Okay.
land this movie role?
Well, there's two things I want to say before I get into it. One, I always say the seed is planted, now watch me grow. That's my own quote. And then the second is um, stars. Stars are like, I don't know, stars are in the sky. You may never touch them, but if you follow them, they will lead you to your destiny. So I also believe that stars and stardust rub off on each other. So in December, I had a very unusual request, or the first of its kind. I'll say that it was the first of its kind. A gentleman by the name of Mike Williams. He is an author in the Gambia, and he asked me would I write the foreword to his upcoming book that would be published. And so I said, wow, I never done that before. I'm really busy. I really don't have the time. But because it's something new, I'll take the challenge and I'll do that. So he sent me his script called The University of Women Wine Tappers. And I read the book, I loved it. And so I wrote the foreword. And I wasn't sure what he wanted, but when I gave it back to him, he said, "This is awesome. There's no need to re-edit. You said everything perfectly." I'm like, okay. So last month, March 2022, he went into publication, and the book sales are doing good. And he called me after I had like 2 or 3 days of bad news. He called me and said, "Guess what?" I'm like, "What?" He said, "I have a movie deal." I said, "A movie deal?" He said, "Yes."
That's
And he
great.
said, while they were explaining to me how they're going to turn one of my books into a movie, I just thought within myself, Professor Joke is the lady that will play that leading role. And I said, "Really?" And so he went on to describe the role to me. The filming is going to take place in the Gambia, and it's about the Gambian women. And my role, I'm a elderly Gambian storyteller, and I tell stories by moonlight. And I said, I can do that. I said, but I may be elderly, but I have to be a head turner. So just make me sexy.
Okay, Miss Tina Turner. Okay, I got you. I mean, Tina Turner at 80, still looking good.
Right, right.
I think he can manage. I think he can. I mean, since he gave you the lead, he got to make you be the star of the show. You got to look the part too.
Yes, yes. And I get to speak Wola, which is my husband's native language.
Oh, look at that. Look at how the spirit works.
So that's how I continue to be an African American. I have my nativity here, but my life is African.
Look at that. Look at how the ancestors work. Um, hey, it. I'm speechless, Cheese, because I'm so happy for you. I'm genuinely happy for you for getting this movie role. When do you start your production?
Well, I'm not sure. I told him of my availability, which I won't be available until June because I have so many programs to fulfill between here and the end of May. But after that, my schedule is free. So when he told me about it, the news was hot off the press. So as he gets the details, he's going to relay the details to me.
Mm.
So
So now we come down to the final part of the show, and this is the question that I was very, very looking forward to. Hashtag Fade to Black. As being a panelist, I always told you that you was one of the reasons why I started this show. And
Thank
so,
you.
what impact? I know what impact you have, but I never asked it from your perspective. What impact on being on this show do you believe that you had since being on this show, which has been a year and a couple months?
A year and a half. I thought it was closer. I thought like this June would be 2 years.
We actually coming close to 2 years.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, because
So,
COVID made it seem like it's been 2 years, right?
right, right. We started. Yeah, we started in COVID.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I will say is that because of COVID, we were in lockdown, and the show gave us an opportunity to actually reach out and communicate with people. And I think that was good for the psyche because COVID really did a number on people, um, being at home and decrease their social life. So for me, it was a breath of fresh air. And I think I remember I used to say, this show is giving me life because I believe the shutdown really was taking a toll. Not being able to go out, not being able to socialize with your coworkers, with your friends, not being able to go out to dinner. Our life was totally impacted by COVID. So, doing for the show, it gave me life, um, and staying connected to people, and I think that was very important. Um, the other thing that I would say, uh, meeting interesting people. Well, I love to meet people anyway,
Yes, you do. Yes, you
but
do.
meeting people that you normally would not meet, like Seepaway, and Dr. O, Professor O, and Beast, and even Alan, one of the panelists in the beginning, and then the other guests that have come onto the show. I believe even one of the panelists that we brought on the show, Mr. Williams, he had a show back in the day. And I
Mhm.
believe bringing him on this show reignited his passion for having television shows. And I believe a week or within that week, his old producer said, "Hey, we're going to start his show back up again." So I believe it's called Business in the Black.
That's
So so it's
right.
had a lot of impact on a lot of people. Um,
Yeah. So yeah, I'm very happy to hear that, and that's also was one of the goals with the hashtag Fade to Black was to help out everybody with their endeavors. But I wasn't expected to be this great. I mean, movie deal to we having the our boy Mayo. He is actually running for the House of Reps again. Beast Johnson starting the revolution with the independent music scene. I mean, is and then Seepaway doing a lot for Guinea-Bissau and almost making it into the Olympics. And then now you with the movie roles. So I mean, a lot of great things are happening. Then with us with the Wet Network too as well. But we're not going to try and make it about us, Teach. This was all about you. And this is where we're going to conclude this interview, even though we went a little bit over. But I think we can forget about us going over because it's all about you. Teach from the bottom of my heart, you deserve it. You deserve to bask in the sun. Enjoy this. This is your moment. This is your time. And one thing I forgot to mention on your trip to last time we went to Cameroon, you was the Queen Mother. I'm surprised you didn't bring that up, but I wanted to bring it up. So, Teach, from everybody from hashtag Faith to Black, I guarantee if they was all here, they would have said, congratulations, enjoy it. And most of all, we can't wait for you to come back and we can officially say that we have a movie star on our panel wish and we're also wishing Mayo the best and that we will have a sitting House of Representatives on the show. But Teach, thank you for doing this exclusive. Any last things you want to say before we end this?
I want to tell you thank you for allowing this interview. Thank you for entertaining me. Thank you for having a vision to launch yourself out and put yourself on this platform. I appreciate the ambition that you have as a young man. I want to see you grow. I want to see you soar. I want to see you, your seeds grow and nurture. And if you need anything, I'm always a chat away. You can
Yeah.
always contact me. I'm available to you. If there's anything that I can help you go to the next level, I'm here, ready to write you that letter of recommendation. Anything that you may need for your own personal success. Much success to the show. I don't anticipate this year me really being present because I have so many things on my plate. But I hope and pray that you'll find another replacement. Well, somebody else. Not nobody can replace me. I'm sorry.
Oh no, nobody can. There's not even a replacement. This is a brand new chair. Okay, you can't touch that chair. That chair is for the Queen Mother. If you don't have that prestige, you sit right here.
Yeah, but you need that female energy
Yes.
to balance you men out.
Yeah, that is true.
So
That
maybe even I can find someone, I don't know, in my Rolodex. But I love you. I love the show. I love all of Mayo. Mayo and I go back to when I first came to Columbus. And Beast, met him on the show. And all of the viewers and listeners of Fade to Black, share with your friends. This is a great show. Share with your friends, and let's build up that viewers. Call in when he opens the line. Call in and ask questions, and
yes,
so you can become an integral part of the show by posing your questions and
yeah.
allowing the panelists to get guests and also that can answer your questions and even suggest some guests.
Mm-hmm. And Teach, thank you for that sound bite, and most definitely look out for the Wet Network because this one over here, she going to get a show, and hopefully once her movie gets done with production, that we get a first take, get a first watch, get a first look at it, and we give you all. But just looking into the future. But that Teach, we have to head on out. Once again, we love you, we miss you, we
Love
wish you
you too.
nothing but the best. Teach, we're happy that you are in this phase of your life. Honestly, I don't even think you hit your prime yet. I think you at the P of the prime right now. So I wanted to tell you that. But for us, we have to end this interview. As for Anita Diop, aka Teach, and me, your host, Donna Alamonte Moore, this has been a hashtag Fade to Black exclusive interview with Anita Diop, aka Teach. Y'all all have a great one. It's been real. Catch y'all later. Bye, y'all.
Goodbye.